On today's show, we're talking, can I travel unvaccinated with the Omicron variant out there? David Hartman, owner of Fantastic Endeavors Travel Agency. Welcome to the Enjoy the Journey Travel Show. We're going to be talking about recent regulations, some more recommendations, and some tools and tips that'll help you guys out because it's changing every day of where you can travel unvaccinated. Thank you for all your support from my mid-August show about where can I travel unvaccinated. It's changing every day. This time, I'm going to leave you guys with tools that you can always check yourself or always consult me. If you're new to our show, please like and subscribe and follow our Fantastic Endeavors YouTube channel. A lot of the links I show you are my Fantastic Endeavors Facebook page, my travel agency page. So check that out right now. So let's get into it right away. First off, U.S. citizens can return to the U.S. unvaccinated without a quarantine. Recent change coming December 6th, changing the testing requirement of COVID to testing within 1 day of flight departure. I'm doing a quick summary of all this. But the bottom line is, and the most questions I've received on my YouTube channel and the video from mid-August about unvaccinated travel was, hey, where do I have to the U.S.? How do I get back in the U.S.? This and that. I can't if I'm not vaccinated? No. U.S. citizens could always return to the U.S. unvaccinated. That has not changed, and that is not changing as of December 6th with this new Omicron variant. So let's talk for a bit. What is the Omicron variant? It is the coronavirus COVID-19. It is the third popular mutation because viruses, if they're among the world community for a while, do tend to mutate. And this one has mutated worse, the Delta. We don't know about Omicron. I'm probably saying it wrong. The idea is that there's a lot of hype out there. It's unfortunate. People are being safe. A lot of countries are changing regulations. U.S. has changed their regulation, expanded mask mandates. But I'm here to give you tools and resources and tips to help you travel unvaccinated throughout the world. The biggest change is know your testing facilities because now you need to get tested before you return, regardless of your vaccination status. And that's critical to know. Now, as far as recommendations where to travel, U.S. domestic travel is wide open. It has been. It always has been. I live in Florida. Florida, come on, miles. For a year now, we've been wide open. It's warm here. It's great in the wintertime. Everyone came here last February when the whole country froze, and we continue to have record tourist numbers in Florida, despite no international tourists until recently, and despite no Canadians being able to drive across the border like they always do and come to Florida. So keep that in mind that U.S. travel is there. Yes, certain states maybe more things are closed, more mask indoors. Like Florida's wide open, but the theme parks like Walt Disney World require masks indoors. But overall, you can travel in your car and flights domestically. It's not a problem. Just wear a mask on a plane. So unvaccinated travel domestically, no problems there, especially if you're a U.S. citizen. And I do have recommendations for international destinations. I did last time. That was my whole show, was just picking out what was out there. By the time my show was done, most of those were outdated. So I appreciate the support in the comments on that August show. This time, I'm going to give you just a few that I find in my research for clients. I do book travel for unvaccinated guests quite frequently and vaccinated guests. And I will always give you one, which is Mexico is always open to all travelers. It has been open. I've been to Mexico on a cruise recently in June. I sent clients there last August of 2020. It's always been open. That's just been their attitude. They want tourism. They survive on tourism. And that's the key right now is that Mexico has been, will be open, always an option. Is it safe? That's a subject of a different show. There's been some incidents recently with some drug dealers and drug lords. They were very isolated and overall Mexico is safe, but talk to me if you're interested in going to Mexico and we'll get you somewhere and get you safe. Now, of late, again, just giving you a few out there. You can criticize me in the chat if you want. Arrive Croatia and then explore throughout Europe. Croatia has been more up than other countries, and I'm watching in the trades and the news. Trades are travel agent publications I read that are by professionals and for professionals. And Croatia has been mentioned about, changing their wide openness. I had people who watched my show in August and called me up, want to go on a honeymoon to Italy. I couldn't help them for Italy. I mean, the vendors wanted non-refundable money and they had to be vaccinated. I could have flown them into Croatia and they could drive into Italy, but Italy want a vaccination card for certain restaurants, and how well that's enforced is subjective. But ideally, once you're in a country, it's a lot easier to rent a car and explore than not. And if you're denied a place, you can drive to the next country or drive to the next city. It's a lot, once you're on the ground, is a lot more flexible. But Croatia right now is wide open. So what are my tips? My tips are this. Know the regulations of your destination. I'm going to show you a couple websites here as we go through these different tips. But obviously, you can go online, consult that destination, consult an expert like myself who knows the area and knows the ins and outs of travel, and you get an idea of what is allowed. And there's a lot allowed right now. And I got a great site to show you. Let me get my other computer going. And the idea is that this site, you can go right on it. It's by the consortia travel leaders, which my agency is a part of. And a consortia is a network of travel agencies who get support. And this site right here is Travel Leaders Resource Site. It's Sherpa, it's called. And this is your resource to see. And you can right here, some countries up front, Aruba, because first in the alphabet. And it shows you what's going on. And it's very up to date. Is it as up to date as the country's embassy or destination site? No, it'll probably be a day or two later. But this is a good site for easy planning. And it's something sponsored by the network that my travel agency is a part of. So that's Sherpa by Travel Leaders. I'll put the link in the description to this video after it's completed live. Okay, and this is up-to-date travel requirements for international travel. Really good site, and I really appreciate the network. I'm a part of Travel Leaders for putting this out for these thousands of agencies as part of their network and their clients and their followers like you guys. Okay, tip number 2, know where to get tested when traveling abroad. Obviously, it's even more critical now because you need to get tested one day prior to travel to return to the U.S. Now, this show goes worldwide, and I have a lot of international audience that comment on that. A lot of my travel shows, this is a weekly show. So this is pertaining to U.S. citizens returning, because that's most of my network of clients and most of my followers. Know your own country as far as returning. So, but know your requirements, but no matter who you are, you're going to have to get tested. You may get tested from country to country. I had friends that did a cruise unvaccinated with Atlas Ocean Voyages who sponsored this show last year. And they had to get tested everywhere they went just to get to the next stop because they decided they wanted to travel unvaccinated. That was their choice. So, but they had to go out and they found one testing site in a back alley. It was all legitimate, but it was literally a health trailer in a back alley. They're out there, but this site I'm going to show you next is a good idea of resources that are out there. And again, I'll put this in the link in the description to the show. Please check that out and leave a comment while you're there. So this is the Star Alliance website. Who's Star Alliance? Airlines, a network of airlines led by American Airlines and all their network of airlines. And these guys put together this site. And let's see, it's Star Alliance. I'll scroll down so you can see better and get rid of the banner. So this goes down and just, it's major cities, obviously. They have some pretty niche places too. If you're in a smaller place, you need to consult local resources to find out where you go. And again, I'll put this link in the description, leave a comment about that. Let me know what you think of it. I think it's a phenomenal resource. So kudos to Star Alliance and all the member airlines. You don't have to be a member of Star Alliance to use the site. It is a public site. And then another tip is consult the destination tourism and embassy website. For example, Jamaica right now, some guy actually called me up, watched my other show, said, hey, I watch your show. How about Jamaica? I said, well, Mexico's wide open, as I always say. So Jamaica, and I wasn't sure. I had to go to the destination website, Travel Jamaica, and they're unclear because if you're vaccinated, they require a test. Again, know the testing requirements of where you're going. And then you have to do a health application no matter who you are. So they could still deny you. So I can't say Jamaica allows you unvaccinated. It's very subjective. But that's how I found out about it. Then I also checked the embassy of our U.S. for that destination because we have an embassy in every major country, most countries. And then also the embassy here for that country if we have one. Just you can do a Google search and find these sites. They usually come up number one because they're well maintained, especially in this era of international travel. Now, my last tip is know the exceptions of your destination. What does that mean? Especially on the sites I just mentioned, the destination tourism sites, for like Go Florida, we have one here for Florida, and obviously Jamaica, welcome Jamaica, welcome Aruba. The sites that promote tourism in that country will have details. The embassy sites will have details, and they have to allow exceptions. What's the big exception? Everyone say it. Children, obviously. And then under 2 is exempt of everything I just told you about returning to the U.S., that one-day test, no testing required for 2-year-olds. Right now, vaccines are only approved from 5 to 12, which is a whole big game going on with the cruise lines right now. So know the exceptions. Certain people who are foreign residents but not U.S. citizens can return without being vaccinated. If you're a U.S. citizen, we know that there's no exception. The rule is you're allowed to come back just with a proper test. And again, all these are without quarantine. The beauty of that Sherpa site I sent you, it tells you if that country is requiring quarantines. Currently, the U.S. is not with proper testing, even as citizens. If you're a foreign traveler to U.S., you have to be vaccinated. If you're a foreign national wanting to come to the U.S., consult our embassy websites of your country here, and also consult our tourism websites, whatever state you're going to. So it's important. And I've been responding to a lot of comments on my previous show about unvaccinated travel, which I love doing. I'll continue doing on this show. So please put questions in the chat. And most of them, I'm getting the information off embassy websites and tourism websites. That's where you find this information. So this is our show. It's a quick check-in with you guys that I will now do a regular show on unvaccinated travel, especially now with the Omicron. I think I spelled it wrong. Omicron variant. Why? It's a Greek alphabet, and Delta, and then Alpha. Who knows? Whatever it is, a lot of hype. We got to live with it. It's unfortunate. We covered recent rules, recommendation, and tools and tips. If you find this show halfway and it's live, rewind it, watch it on recording, watch from the beginning, and watch it to the end to find the great tools I give. I put those links in the description. Check those out. If you need to reach me, please do anytime. You can direct message me here, wherever you're watching on social media or YouTube. Follow my Fantastic Endeavors YouTube channel where some of these links I've shared or already posted, some of the resource links I already posted. And also I have an Instagram channel too. And contact me, 305-453-9208 or dave@bucketwithtrip.com. I am a certified travel specialist and an unvaccinated travel specialist claimed by you guys on YouTube based on the last show I did. And I'll do a regular now, ideally monthly check-in on what's happening for unvaccinated travel. It's going to get difficult, guys. It's going to get difficult the next few weeks and months as this hype of Omicron goes on. And what can we do is just pay attention to the local restrictions, follow the resource sites I gave you, and always consult me if you have additional questions. Thank you, guys. Have a fantastic Sunday, and we'll see you next week.